Sky News understands that bidders for Chelsea FC have been given extra time to submit offers following the British government decision to sanction Roman Abramovich. All this following another turbulent day at Stamford Bridge. Reports that the club had several of its bank accounts temporarily suspended. Our sports presenter, Jacquie Beltrao, is here to take us through exactly what is going on at the moment. And because the simple truth of the matter is, as far as I understand it, Chelsea are incredibly limited in what they can do until the sale goes through.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like they've had handcuffs put on them. I mean, they've got this huge wage bill, which is £28 million a month, which they've got to meet that wage bill. They've been told their players will be paid, but they can't sell any tickets, so you can't get revenue from that. They can receive money from TV companies, so they can receive their Premier League money and their Champions League money, but they're not allowed to use that to pay the players. You can't even sell matchday programmes. They've made matchday programmes for tomorrow, but they can't employ any sellers to sell them. So not that that brings in that much money, but, you know, everything is affected. I'm not even sure if you'll be able to buy a pie there tomorrow. I mean, we'll know soon enough. But, you know, very much hamstrung. I think this sale needs to go through quickly. Will a buyer be getting it for a bargain price? Possibly. Abramovich put a £3 billion price tag on this club, and now we're talking around just over £2 billion for offers. But I think they'll also have to get a special permit from the government to make this sale go through. But the players must be worried. You know, you've got players out of contract at the end of the season whose negotiations would be happening about now. People like Azpilicueta, for example, out of contract. So what do those players do? Do they just assume they're not going to get a new one and move on? What about young players who might have had improved contracts done, like Mason Mount, for example? Do they move on and get their worth somewhere else? What about the youngsters who've come through the academy who might have got a professional contract at the end of this season? And what about the academy? That costs money to run. It's an excellent academy, really sort of set up by Abramovich. What happens to that if they've got no money? You know, will this club go to the ground? It's not in the interests of the government to do that. You know, it's a big part of society. It's been there for a very long time, Chelsea. Nobody wants to see it go to ground.
Well, a few Arsenal fans do,
apart from their rivals who might want to, you know, want one of those top four places that Chelsea currently occupy. But, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty around at the moment. Even Thomas Tuchel, who seems unflappable, is in a state of, I have no idea what's going to happen next.
To understand the situation is very difficult. To see where it's going, where it's heading, it's maybe impossible. So in the end, we stick to the mantra to live in the moment and worship where we are. It's not easy, but it's out of our control. It makes things sometimes more difficult, but sometimes also maybe easier to accept that we cannot do anything in the moment and to wait and constantly adapt.
So the investment bank Rain will decide on the preferred buyer. There's several lined up. What's going to be interesting about their match tomorrow against Newcastle at home is the fans have been told not to chant Roman Abramovich's name, which they did when they were meant to be clapping for Ukraine last week. And Thomas Tuchel there was not very happy about that at all. They've been told not to chant his name. I wonder if they will, you know, because to a lot of fans, he's rescued their club and they're not going to forget that very easily. No one forgets 5 Premier League titles or 2 Champions League or 5 FA Cups. They're not going to forget that overnight.
Yeah, I don't think either of us are wondering whether they're going to be saying it.
But is it tainted now? Everything they've won, is it now tainted because of the money used to get those successes?